Aloha, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Mai Tais at Sunset. I'm Tai.
Aloha, I'm Mai. Happy Aloha Friday. Happy weekend. I set the intention that we are going to share a lot of laughs, a lot of fun, and healing. Oh no, my dog is barking in the background. I'm so sorry.
This is what happens when you do a live recording. You're always going to have things interrupt you and cause mayhem. I think my dogs have been more interruptive than your brand new dog, Kona.
Kona, he's a puppy. He's a rescue. He's been a delight. I have to say, he's very adorable. If you want to see him, he's in a bunch of our shorts. In several, at least 2 or 3, I think, shorts he's made it in where he's just causes chaos. He's always trying to steal my snacks when I'm trying to record them.
Yep.
But he's so cute. And he's like,
cute.
he does these sneak attacks. And he's fast. I'm like recording and I'm like concentrating on the camera, and then all of a sudden his face comes in and snatches it like out of my hand. I've left some of those edits in, but a lot of times he does it and it's not in the video.
Yeah, I think we have actually been picking up steam as far as like shorts and some videos and things. I think people are interested in Kona's like mischievous moments.
And speaking of Kona, transition to the Big Island, and the title of this video, Hawaii. I see you shaking your head. That was terrible. Hawaii volcanoes are being all active and earthquakey, and they are in the news. They're making headlines everywhere for at least the past few weeks because Mauna Loa is starting to rumble.
Oh.
And Mauna Loa has been kind of quiet. Kilauea has been the star volcano for a while because I was doing research for this, that the national park, Hawaii Volcano National Park, it's open 24/7.
Wow, I didn't know that.
But I do know people who camp in there, so I guess that makes sense. But you definitely want to go and see. I mean, you can't see the lava during the day. It would just, it would be so bright. But at night, you would see that beautiful glow. So all the photographers and videographers out there, supposedly 10 p.m. is the magic hour because most tourists start going at 7 and they're there until about 9. And then about 10 o'clock is like when it's all cleaned out.
Yeah, I've actually seen the lava at night, but I was in a helicopter, so I felt like it was a little bit of a different, further away experience.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when I was in Hawaii, there was 2 eruptions in 2018. And I remember like rivers of lava cutting through people's neighborhoods.
Oh, yeah. A few years ago, yeah. There was like that whole neighborhood that got wiped out because lava just came right on through.
I remember the spikes coming down, like, it's not just the ash and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like also, what do they call it? Madame Pelle's hair.
Yeah.
There's actual spikes that rain down. People they didn't believe me when I was like telling them this. Not only did we have that ballistic missile scare during that time, but we also had raining spikes.
A type of glass rock that comes shooting out.
And terrible, terrible air quality. Did you know that there is, real quick, you made me look at the Hawaii news now, right? I didn't know there was so much stuff going on in Hawaii. But have you ever been to Romano's Macaroni Grill?
Yes.
They're charging now a $2 inflation fee on every ticket.
Oh, is that who was doing it? I saw the thumbnail for it, and it said temporary inflation fee. And the story headline was some Hawaii attorney sues them over this temporary inflation fee. They would have got away with it if they had called it a service fee.
Yeah.
But I think the wording of it is what makes it
inflation fee
a little illegal because we're not allowed to have inflation increases just flat out like that. Like you're not supposed to say it.
Well, here's another thing. They said that you guys are supposed to get ready for a very wet winter. So I feel bad for everybody who's planned like vacations.
Winter
over the
vacations. Yeah, it's going to be rainy.
Because it's going to be rainy. Yeah, once they've just said that, I was like, oh, we got to wait on any trips to Hawaii for right now. Actually, you guys did make national news for something else. I know we'll get back to like the volcano and earthquake preparations and stuff. But you guys didn't make the news because there was surfers doing drone footage on West Oahu, but there were sharks in the waves with them. Big sharks.
Oh.
Ones. Oh. So I don't know. It's on Hawaii News now. There's some video, but there's actual sharks underneath people like dropping in on a wave. So 6 to 8 foot shark. Oh, it's on Bush and Ewa Beach. So.
Okay.
I don't know. In Ewa. Whatever, but that did make national news because I remember seeing that on the Houston news. So
this is totally off track, but I bought this shirt for my uncle. He lives in California, and it says, hotter than Ewa.
daughters.
So he didn't understand it because Eva is spelled EWA, but it's pronounced with a V sound, Eva. And my auntie who's from here, she was laughing and she immediately stole that from him. She goes, "You don't get it."
No, if you're not from there, you won't get it.
Hotter, but Ewa Beach, it's a hot part of the island. That is a hot beach. Talk about burning your feet on the sand. Definitely over there.
Oh yeah, for sure. And speaking of like Ewa Beach and Nanakuli, I mean, remember we would have canoe races there.
Yep.
And I talked about like how on Nanakuli, like after the race we would like do the waves.
Mm-hmm.
And I would end up with a ton of rocks in my bathing suit.
Oh yeah. And we're not wearing just bathing suits.
Violation.
We're wearing like active wear pants over that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it somehow gets all the way into every crevice of your clothing.
Yeah, it's terrible. Well, yes, I see a lot of news like going on. So let's go back to, it says like 2 quakes have rattled Hawaii Island, prompting preparedness for Mauna Loa as she becomes restless. So
yeah,
explain to us what the Great Hawaii Shakedown is. I think that's what they call it.
That made so because Mauna Loa has been so active and it's causing a lot more earthquakes, a lot of mostly schools, but today they had like this whole thing where everybody was going to do earthquake preparedness, I guess. So they showed I saw a video of it on the news today, and there's like a lot of kids ducking under their desks. They get off their chairs and they just crawl under the table and desks. And I think my mom said that's the same kind of training or preparation that they did for like
when she
back
was in
the
school?
day for bombing attacks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's scary.
But I mean, I guess you go under your desk because they think it's going to protect you from falling objects. Places like California, that's really well known for having earthquakes all the time. I wonder if they do that in their schools.
Honestly, we will need a listener from California to answer that because I have no idea. I've never heard of them like preparing for any earthquakes. Even when I lived there and worked there in the hospital, I was like, "Do you guys get earthquakes here? Do you practice for that?" They're like, "Nah, we're in the basement. We're screwed anyway." And I was like, "What? We're not gonna practice?" They're like, "Nah, we're not gonna practice." That's great.
See, I don't actually know, but I always heard, right, just from my watching movies and TV shows, that you're supposed to run into like a frame of a door, right?
Yeah.
Because you'd hopefully that the structure would be strong at doorways, and then also under tables. But I'm like, some tables are so crap. I just feel like that's just going to land on you also.
I personally feel like if you're in a 2-story house, maybe the top floor, because you only have like the roof and maybe an attic coming down on you. Whereas if you're on the first floor, you have a whole solid structure above you, like gonna fall down on you.
Right? Yeah. And then wasn't there also a thing like go into the bathtub?
Yeah, but you would have to lay low enough for the tub to actually be higher than you. Does that make sense? Because if stuff falls down, like it would hit the tub.
Okay, the sides of the tub.
But you could get buried. Yeah, you could get buried alive though.
I think your best case scenario is to just like run outside and be in an open area.
Run outside and hope like a palm tree doesn't hit you.
A palm tree, a light pole,
a house.
Yeah.
I don't know. That is really scary though. I always answer this question when people are like, "Oh, in Hawaii, were you ever afraid of natural disasters?" And I was like, pick one. Flooding or monsoon rains, tsunamis, typhoons, earthquakes, volcanoes. What else can happen? I don't know. Random bugs, random sea oceans, like creatures.
Everything can happen
box jelly
here
attack.
As much as it can happen anywhere else in the world.
Mudslides. Let's keep going.
Mudslides, California, flash flooding, all those kinds of things can happen. I know in California too. I'm really afraid of tornadoes.
They're pretty scary. Like I said before, I've only lived through one of them and never again. The sky just literally turns green and you're like, uh-oh. But in Hawaii, I think you guys rarely have anything like a tornado. You have water spouts. But water spouts tend to dissipate when they hit land. And also your landscape is not technically all flat. So a tornado can't cross like mountains and stuff like that. So if you have an active tornado, they always say like go in a ditch because it has to stay on flat land. If you're in a ditch, it's not able to like really like cross over and suck you up. So it'll like skirt over the ditch and then touch ground again.
Except that in Lanikai, a waterspout did come over that mountain and went into Enchanted Lakes.
Well, they can jump over certain things, right? But they'll always choose the path of least resistance. So like a waterspout, like it does like cross over the mountains, but if you're in the mountains, it's not going to suck you up, right? But once it crosses the mountains and then it comes back down, because it has space to come back down, yeah, that's like usually my understanding of a tornado and waterspout. They're just trying to suck you up. And yeah.
I didn't know that's what they were doing, but I know that they created a lot of damage. At least that one. And that was more than 10 years ago.
So when you were a kid in Hawaii, like growing up and you're doing these earthquake drills, like what did you think when you were doing them?
I've never done an earthquake drill.
What? Then you didn't go to school?
No, I just didn't have any. They never taught anything like that. They talked about the ones that I would see them do, like, again, in like some kind of educational horrible thing that they would have filmed for students to watch for like preparation for the bombs dropping for World War II.
Yeah, it's pretty funny that you would watch a video of it but not actually do it. I think we had tornado drills and we would go in the center hallways of the building and we would line up against the wall because that's the strongest part of the structure. It's not the outside. It's like the inner guts of a building, especially like a one-story building.
Okay.
And they would have us like put our hands behind our head and neck and then pull our knees up. So we almost looked like we were about to crash in a plane but sitting on the floor.
Okay.
We only did that like 4 or 5 times for inclement weather.
We only had fire drills. Everybody's marched out of school a distance away.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I ever had growing up in Hawaii.
Okay.
But I think both my parents mentioned that they might have done the ones where you crawl under the desk. I don't know if it was them talking about them personally or if they were talking about their parents doing it. Oh, but for the volcano, they're actually saying like maybe you guys should have go bags. Get your things together so that if you have to evacuate, you can just grab your important things and leave. Because they said Mauna Loa, if it sends out any lava flows, that it moves faster than I think Kilauea. I think Kilauea is really slow, kind of a oozy
Would this affect
lava.
Does this affect the other islands or does this only affect the big island?
As long as Mauna Loa has just a flooding kind of a lava situation where it's just oozing and flooding, I think it's just going to be on that island. But if it explodes and erupts, then of course all that crap that comes out will affect the other islands just because it's going to be in the winds and it'll carry over. I mean, we have days of VOG, which is volcano fog. And it's worse than I think regular smog and fog because there's so much crap that comes out of the volcano and then we're all breathing that in.
Wow. That's so scary though. I mean, I guess people don't realize like there is still an imminent threat that a volcano could go off at any time. Mm-hmm. For instance, like in Washington State, like every time I fly in and I see Mount Rainier, I'm like, this is an active ass volcano. Like,
you remember Hurricane Iniki, how it devastated the island of Kauai? They took like the most damage. There is this guy that he's very psychic, and he said that he went up and he talked to Goddess Poliahu, who is Goddess Pele's sister on the Big Island when he was up there on the mountain. And he said that you will be safe on Kauai. So I said, why? What is she planning to do?
Yeah. What is she going to do?
What's she going to do? I said, whatever happens, you just tell me when something's going to happen. I'll make sure I'm on Kauai also.
Did he tell you?
He just said just something might happen. And that was probably about at least 5-6 years ago. He told me that. So nothing's happened since. Mauna Loa is, I think, the largest active volcano. She's active. She's just not doing a whole lot except rumbling. But the lava lake is increasing and getting higher.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's happening on that island. But you know that the lava, it's all connected. The volcanoes are all connected. The whole planet is connected. There's only so much magma in the earth.
Magma.
Maybe people are shaking up too many things in Ukraine with explosives and the Middle East that it's causing the earth to rumble and affect us all the way over here. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Like there's so much going on in the world. I think the last thing they need is a volcanic eruption.
Nobody wants that. But It's how it's affecting tourism is that some of the hikes and the trails are closed just because of all the seismic activity and it's a little dangerous. So that's the
Yeah.
national park doing that. But otherwise, it's really great for photographers and videographers to come and get that footage. But if you want to just see it, it's going to be on the USGS website, which we will feature a lot of it on this video. Thank you, USGS, for making it public domain.
Mine's got us all squared away. She's like, I got you, boo.
I'm so excited. I've always been in love with all of that lava footage, just never had a reason to have it. We'll have some of it. I'm going to put it all over this video.
That sounds good to me.
You were playing tourist in Galveston.
Yeah, in Galveston. It's a very slow season right now. It's very different from the last time I reviewed it. I was there for business. Very productive, really great. So I've been going there since I was a kid. Found out a lot of the businesses, they are owned by a single person who just merchandises like little bit different things for each store, but they're all like the same theme.
Really?
So I was really surprised by that. It's really cute down there. The buildings are all old. I took video this time of my favorite dessert store, candy store called The King's Confectionery. And then I took some video of driving up and down the seawall and then the view from our condo. And that's pretty much it until it died, my camera. But I had a good time. I mean, I love going down there. People are nice. They're just above and beyond nice and friendly. And
yeah, no, it was a really pretty day that you were there.
Oh, yeah. It was super gorgeous. Like the last 2 days, Texas got hit with a cold front, which is like really rare. It was like low 40s, upper 60s. And I was like, this is weird,
Yeah. We also had the cold front at the exact same time. And it dropped the temperature down. Yeah. And it was raining and raining and raining. It was muggy because it was raining, but then it would clear out briefly at night and then the temperature would drop. So it's been like in the 68, 69 to about 71. It's like, that's perfect for me for sleeping weather. I don't have to have the fan on.
That's nice.
It's just perfect. Today, I'm actually just so excited to have the sun because I do a lot of water therapy and running in my swimming pool and it is cold. It is so cold. And when it was cold and cloudy, it was very sad to be out there.
Oh, yeah, because the pool doesn't warm up as much, huh?
It doesn't.
I have that problem at the gym.
Is the gym not heated?
Not the outside pool. The inside pool, they say it's heated, but it's still like a bristly 60-some degrees. I have to mentally prepare myself to get in that water. Like, I literally jump in and I'm like, I go like this. And then I jump in and I'm like, oh my God, it's so cold. But then once you start swimming, it's not cold anymore,
Yeah, you normalize, yeah.
It's cold as soon as you get in there. You're like, I am dying.
You texted me today and I just literally started running and I was just acclimating and I'm like, no, I can't do this again. I can't get out and then come back.
You can't.
I have to just commit.
No. And I would never make you do that. I was like, I would never make her like come back for me. No, it's so cold.
It was
So cold.
still very cold. But it's okay. I feel like it's still a swimming pool in Hawaii. My cousin, she has one in New Hampshire. I'm sure it's all wintry over there already at this point.
Very wintry. I actually feel like it's going to be a super cold winter.
Yeah, and Hawaii is having a third La Nina winter in a row, which they said is really rare and unusual.
What does that mean?
It's just going to be colder, wetter, a lot more rain and flooding. So
that doesn't sound exciting at all.
Come to Hawaii during the winter if you want to see Hawaii all rainy.
No, but they said, rainy. I was like, don't give people false hope because.
Oh no, I'm honest. It's going to be rainy. But sometimes the rain is beautiful because when you drive along the mountains, like the H3 freeway, all of the ridges will be flooding with water and it's just this gorgeous cascade of waterfalls.
Yeah.
It's very pretty. In a few videos back, I had these gorgeous images of being at my cousin's house and I was running around in the rain, getting video of all their beautiful plants and trees and landscapes. And they're right up against the mountain. And when I finished and I came in and was dripping wet on the patio with all the rest of my family at the party, I looked out and there was a waterfall that had just started overflowing right on the mountains in their backyard.
I love a good waterfall. Ugh, make me miss Hawaii.
Yeah, the Ko'olaus, when they are just flooding with waterfalls. It is just gorgeous. So you
Yeah.
can't be mad at the rain when you see gorgeous things like that. But don't go into the ocean if it's brown water.
Yeah.
That's
I
why
don't know
there
why
are
people always
sharks.
wanna-
That is totally why there are sharks there when those surfers are in Ewa Beach, because we have just had all this rain. The water is brown and murky. I mean, it might not have looked like that in the video where they were surfing way out, but I know closer to the shore it's probably brown.
You're probably right.
But was Galveston brown water since you were just there after it rained?
No, it was actually like not as brown as usual. It was actually a little bit green,
Okay.
but not clear. Not like Hawaii clear, but it was green, and I was like, okay, I can do this. Like, I did not put my feet in the water. I was like literally there for business. I don't have the time, but I really enjoyed being there. It was nice to see the ocean.
It is something healing, I think, for us as humans to see the water wherever we are on the planet, but to see the ocean, to see lakes, rivers, just to see that land and water element, I think is so healing to us, to all humans.
Yeah.
And if you can just get to a swimming pool or a water fountain, I think people love that too.
They really do.
Have you seen the volcano? Have you gone?
I have. Yeah. I have done all of that.
Did you go hiking in the lava tubes?
I did. Yeah. I didn't really feel safe. I was always scared, like, oh shit, I'm gonna die.
Lava
so
could come down this tube at any moment.
Yeah, I would say I'm a one and done sort of type person. I would say if I ever was with somebody and they wanted to do it, like that's fine. But it can be kind of dangerous. You just never know if like toxic gases or anything's gonna come out.
Yeah.
Like, people don't think that. They're like, oh, they think about lava. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's great. But guess what else is down here, you know?
Yeah. I've seen people like walking on the rocks. They're trying to get to
Nope.
where the lava flowing. You can see their shoes are melting.
Yeah,
the
I'm
shoes
good.
are melting on the rocks on their way out there because it's that hot. Why do you want to go out there? That's just crazy.
None of that is good. None of that is a good choice. Why do
I'm
people
good
do
with
that?
just going to the parking lot, to the lookout, get my pictures, and then go.
That's so funny.
I've driven several times between Mauna Loa and Mauna Kea, and it's very beautiful, especially if you do it at night. I understand why they want those telescopes up there, is because it's all of the heavens. It's so magnificent. You can see the entire Milky Way. It's so dark. Can you see that
That's awesome.
on the land where you're out on in Texas?
Yes.
You guys have the
You can
entire
actually
Milky
see
Way.
all the stars and everything. Uh-huh.
We have to get good cameras so that we can record that. We should have an entire show
Give me a
where we just
picture.
look at the Milky Way stars. You go get a good camera. You can film that.
I love how you're like, go get a good camera.
Go get a good camera. Your GoPro won't do it, but maybe your iPhone will.
I don't think so. I've tried to take pictures of the stars with my iPhone. It's no good.
I tried to take pictures. I swear I saw aliens flying around. They were doing something interesting. And I was like, okay, I'm going to take a picture. But when I hit the record button, it was because I was in the dark. And I'm like pushing buttons on my phone. And I dropped the brightness so that, I wouldn't be illuminated. But the first thing I touched was a camera picture and the flash was on. And I was like, oh no, I gave away my position. The picture didn't come out at all. And the video also didn't come out at all. It was so terrible.
That's hilarious.
But I remember being in that moment going, oh, they could see me.
Oh my God, like all these eyes are like, like turn and look at you.
I know.
That's funny.
But yeah, I don't have camera gear that's appropriate for recording that stuff. Please donate to My Thighs at Sunset so we can buy good camera equipment to record the dark and the stars and those funny
You're
aliens that are
hilarious.
flying around and doing crazy stuff.
I like how you're like laughing at yourself. You're just so excited about it.
I was really hoping that footage would come out because they were doing all kinds of flying things. And, I see these videos on YouTube and I'm like, what are they recording with? How come mine isn't coming out?
I don't know. I think they use like really, really fancy ass cameras to do all that stuff.
Well, even like the bad
definitely-
ones. Like I swear they're using their phone, but my phone wasn't doing it. I have the newest iPhone and it wasn't doing it.
Time for a new phone. No, I'm just kidding. No new phone.
I might have to switch brands.
Why?
Can't leave the iPhone ecosystem, the Apple ecosystem.
Why would you do that? No, now I need an explanation. What is going on over there?
No, I mean, I wouldn't mind like that. The Google Pixel looks kind of cute. And that Samsung one
No.
that folds looks really cute.
I knew you were going to talk about the folding one.
I don't know anything about it. But, I saw this Future video. It was Samsung, and it was a bracelet. And it was very much like, Futurama Leela. And she had her computer on her wrist. It wasn't that big, though. It was really kind of a sexy little bangle. And I was like, that's where they're going with that someday. I hope. But you remember those snap bracelets? Like it would go straight and then you hit your hand and your arm and then it would fling around your arm. That's what it looked like they had it do in the their future commercial idea of whatever.
They still sell those at Disney World. You know that, right?
The snap bracelets. They have all kinds of cheap crap for children to make their parents buy.
They sure do.
It was really fun to see all those rides. I know that you recorded, I think it was the Haunted Mansion ride, and I was so excited, but the footage was so dark. GoPro does not do low light very well.
No, it doesn't.
I could hear it. So it was like being on the ride, but yeah. Okay, so I was hanging out with my family, and I have a couple relatives that also used to paddle crazy like us. And I was going to ask them if they could, share a story that I could share on here on Mai Tai. But I'm unsure that anybody will be able to understand them because they really speak pidgin. Tori and I, you remember you said you had people talking to you like Tori. Her accent, I think, is very subtle. Mine's even less. But I have a lot of relatives that speak real pidgin, and I don't know if anybody could understand it. And if I did ask them for an interview, I would put subtitles, but you would only be able to see it on the video.
Right. Yeah, you would definitely need some subtitles for some of these people, like hardcore. That would be funny, though. Thanks again for joining us for another episode of Mai Tais at Sunset. Be sure to check us out, maitaisatsunset.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts.
And until we meet again, ahui ho!